back down at Greenbrier Lake. It's mid 40 degrees right now in February, and it's headed towards 50. Nice sunshine, uncommonly warm day for February. You can see the lake is still somewhat frozen. I've come down to try and finish off the trim work in the kitchen. So just taking a quick look around, and in a few minutes I'll get started working. I was able to stop by Lowe's in Mooresville, Indiana. I already had plenty of these filler strips, so hopefully I have enough now to finish off the trim. Picked up a couple other things to do the job. Got the heater turned on. Trying to get rid of the cold. Feels like about 40 degrees in here. Turn the oven on. And get started here in just a moment. Okay, to get started, first thing I want to do are these boards I cut off to fill the gap here. There's two pieces. I've decided that what I'm going to do, I need to get some sandpaper, sand that edge down, and then I'm going to glue these two pieces together, and then I'm going to glue that bottom piece to the top piece here, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to take a small piece of sandpaper here, 220 grit, and just clean up this edge here. We'll touch it up with a little kill the white paint after everything dries and it warms up a little bit. While we're waiting for the side piece to dry, I'm going to go ahead and cut off a piece of filler and finish off underneath the sink cabinet. I'll grab something for my knees here, my body. Oh! Go all the way to the end. That is 44¼ inches. 44¼ Transfer that up here. 44¼ I'm going to use this display table. Set this up so that I can cut. You can see 44¼ I went just slightly long. I hear sandhill cranes out there. I doubt if it's picked up on the microphone there. 44¼ That's out a little bit. And I'll use my key to help make a good straight cut. There we go. And that is our piece. If I cut this properly, this should fit. I'm going to go ahead and turn you off here because something I haven't done. I need to dig out my drills. I've got all my tools together, and one thing I've decided to do Not exactly sure where underneath the supports other than the very end. So I decided I'm just going to use little deck screws through the top. So I've got this drill set up with a small bit with a countersink, and I'll just countersink holes in the top, and I think that will hold it on just fine. I did mark the very end where there is a support. And I've got this one set up with a bit for the deck screws. I found my little pieces of cardboard to use as lifts underneath it to bring it up to the height I want. Screw just in the hole here so I can pull down towards the west end as hard as possible. Make sure that butts up as well as it can. Since I'm going to have to go back and fill in holes anyway, I'm thinking about just using the screws for the rest of this. Now the isolated cabinet, I'm going to go ahead and measure that. I think I got enough with that scrap. Go ahead and do this one. $29 and 7/8, so we'll just cut it at 30. This piece that came off the first cut is almost 36 inches. So we're going to cut it at 30. Left my pencil in there. I'll mark it with a little scratch. $30. Square. And that'll be the piece for the free cabinet. What I'm going to do is drill 2 holes, one in each corner, on each side. There are supports there, but I'm going to continue to use the deck screws. That's easier. And if there's a mistake or something needs to be taken off, we can. I've determined everything's going to have to be painted with Kill Z anyway. A couple pieces of cardboard to lift it up off the floor a little. Put these edges together. If it overhangs a little, it'll be on the inside towards the refrigerator. Now, I need to measure the length of this south cabinet. What I need to do is I'm going to put one along this edge and then cut one and go along this edge. But I won't be able to do this one until I get the filler glued in there. So for right now, I'll just measure this one and we'll cut it out. And that is 52 3/4. 52 3/4. Set it up against here. Yeah, that's just about a 1/16 short. Bring it out. And perfect. Now I just need to now I'm going to mark. We do have a joint here where we're going to have some good support that I can screw to. So I'll mark those spots. There. There. And in the corner. Now I don't want to put one halfway. Just make sure we got good support. Changed out into my reading glasses because I can see close up much better. Be the fine details and screws. And my bifocals change so much in close and out far that sometimes it's hard to see what I'm doing. These stay the same and I can actually see fairly close in. Perfect. This one's perfect. I've already got the 5 screws in there. Just need to line up this edge. There we go. And screw this one in first. There we go. I'm doing one in the middle, even though there's no support there, to stop it from rattling like the kitchen sink one is. Well, the gap in the center, you can really tell the floor has a little unlevelness to this. Because these cabinets are nice and flush. The only piece left we need to do, if we've got enough, and I thought we did. Oh yeah, 23 inches. 23, and I think we got 27 left. So I'll go cut the 23-inch piece and bring it back. I cut this piece. I cut it about a 1/16 short. So that when I butted up here, I knew I'd have a little bit of room back in the deck. And that's going to work out fine. Now I won't be installing this until I put that filler piece in. And what I'm going to do, I decided I'm going to go ahead and put it in there permanently. I'm going to go ahead and glue it into place. You can still see a little bit of that edge hanging over. Sanding still right in here. Once that dries completely, the glue, I'll put that one in and then we'll finish up the cabinet. I want to go ahead and start working on this trim piece underneath the feed-through window. They've got it completely trimmed out except for underneath. I have the trim boards in the side, and we wanted to wait until we got cabinets in, got the cabinet tops in, and on this I wanted to make sure I got the electrical in. So I'm going to start working on that in a minute. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a 45-degree angle on this one end. Cut the 45-degree first, and then what we'll do is we'll put it in place, or not in place because we've got that conduit to go around, but we'll measure the conduit, measure how far out we got to make a cut, and we'll cut that part of it before we cut the 45 on the other end. That way we've got a little extra board to use if I screw up, which is not out of the realm of possibility. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this 45. Whoop, about lost you. I'll cut this 45. First of all, I got the pencil in the wrong pocket. I'll hold this up in place. I'll have it a bit tight right there too. So first thing we're going to do is determine what we got to cut here. And then I'll bring this up here. Determine how far out we need to cut it. And we'll just cut this section out and see if we can fit it in there. Well, you can see I've cut this out and it works pretty good, but I got a big gap here, and I noticed that someone has used the edge here to wipe off some caulking. I'm sure it's been there since this place was built. So I'm just going to take a knife and try to clean this off to where it'll lay flat. This is It's also cracked a little around the lip of the feed-through window, pass-through window, so it's not going to want to fit perfectly right there, but that's better. Now we'll just see how she fits. Oh, that's much better. And actually, if I sand just a little right here, it might fit together just a little bit better. So I'm just going to sand this. Let's see if we can use the orbital sander and do a little bit here. I don't want to take too much off at a time and go too far. We're almost there. Right, this little hump right there. And take a little bit more off there. I think we'll have it. I'm just eyeballing it, but I think I got the hump out. Not quite, but almost. Try one more pass here. Cords are stiff from the cold. That is about as good as I'm going to get it. So I'm going to hold that board in place and mark it for the 45-degree angle at the other end. Being an old man, I'm going to sit down and do that. Oh, save my knees. The table almost is in the way. There it is. Okay. Go out and make our cut. Okay, I got it cut to length. Set up here. It's just a little short, not much, but good enough. Now I'm going to find some finish nails and finish this off. And then the spring, Connie can lacquer it to finish it off. And we'll see how it looks. Looks pretty good at this end, and looks pretty good at that end. That's a little bigger gap, but once I nail it, that'll close it up. So I'm going to go ahead and nail this in place. Take it down here. You can see there's a somewhat of a gap right in there. We are going to try to hide it a little bit. You make as many mistakes as I do from your inexperience. You learn a few tricks, so what I'm going to do is get some sawdust where we cut it, add it with a little bit of wood glue, and we'll work it in there. Now what I want to do is go ahead and put this piece on underneath the kitchen window, main window here. I'm sure I got enough. I got another big piece. Measure just to get an idea. 72.25. So this is the board. In fact, this is a board that the builders left. I had to buy the others. And all I'm going to do is go ahead and cut a 45 down at this end, and then we'll take it in to the kitchen and put it up to the window and measure it and make sure what we got will work. I'll take my board. Here. Top of 45. And cut it from there. Boom. A lot of that when I'm working by myself. Oh, thought I broke it too. Well, it's on. Now I'm going to nail the rest of it in place. No, I'm going to take a break. Here's what the joint looks like after it's been sanded down. The board gets a little different color, but once Connie stains those or puts lacquer on them, that'll cover everything up, and you'll notice a big gap before you'll notice the filler. So that's what it's going to look like. Before I got started on this last window, I noticed how dark it was down here. And I noticed that light is burnt out. And I thought this would be a good way to show people how these lights have to be changed. These lights are movable. They're just on an electric track. And the easiest way to change these out, I don't think I've got any more, so I need to take it out so I can take it in. These are locked in. All you need to do is pull down and twist, and it comes right out of the track. Once you get your light down, there's an insert here. You can pull the insert out, and then these bulbs just screw out. Lefty-loosey. It can be kind of tight, especially if you got big fingers like mine, but you just keep working it until it eventually comes loose, and you can see it's just got a socket down there. So that's how the lights are changed. Well, I went ahead, after I finished my break, measured this out. It's 40 inches across, 40 is a little long. I went ahead and cut the board by making a 45-degree cut at one side. And what I'm going to do now is just measure it in place and mark off where I want the cut to be. Okay. And I'll go out and cut it, see how close we are. Now that I've cut this, that's a little bit of a ragged edge, so I'm going to just take the sandpaper, sand the edge off a little bit. Now we'll stick it up here and see how it fits. And of course, I left it a little long, probably. Yep. Need something to wedge it up there. Flies are coming to life now that I've warmed up this room. Yep. I need to take off about a 1/16 of an inch. Get this lined up. I want it. And about an 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch maybe might not be enough, but we'll start with an 1/8 of an inch and then start to cloud up outside. Just sandpaper. Smooth off the edge. And let's see how close we are now. Right in. And that is just about not perfect, but good. Started here. Got shit. We got a board that's sticking out here a little bit too much. You always find the defects when you get into finish work. One was not careful when they put this in here, and it sticks out. We need to take a screwdriver and chisel it down. It's going to make the corner a little uneven, but if not, I'll have a big gap between the trim and the window. See, there's a gap developing because of that. this in temporarily. You can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but there's a big lip here now on this board because the 2x4 that's on that they used as a on the outside of the window sticks out past these logs about 1/8 of an inch. So everything is raised, especially right through here, there's a gap. So this is pulled out. The way to do it would be to take this board off and shave that down, but they've put caulking and everything in there and I don't want to mess with it. I'm not sure what they've done, so what I'll probably do is shim the back of this a little bit so that it's not such a big gap, especially at the bottom. If I put the shim in from the bottom, it won't be as noticeable. Here they are. The end of the shim is slightly too big. So what I'm going to do is cut this off so it'll sit down a little bit and we'll have a little smaller part of the shim. Got me a little sharper knife. Score both sides. I'll take a pair of pliers, put along the score, and break it off right there. Very good break, but hey, let's see. That works. That works. Put another nail in there to hold it in place. And put this up where it should be. Side, and this one will be done. Well, I'm down to my last item, which is I want to put that filler board in behind the cabinets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the edge and then try to use shims to hold it in place while it dries. We'll see how it works. If that doesn't work, we'll come up with another idea. Here goes. Drain down a little bit. Some of that broken shim from over there. Spreading some of this out. Nice and tight. I'm going to get it fairly smooth so that I can sand it, and then we can paint this with Kilsey white. Make it all blend in together. That's good enough for government work, or in this case, family work. I believe that will work. And I think it's in there good enough. I'm going to go ahead and take this piece and install it. I just bought. I'm going to clean up, and then we'll do a little tour of what I've done. Well, I've cleaned up. I've got my tools down here that I still need to take out to the SUV, but and I have to clean the pieces of wood and sawdust out from the pavilion. But I'm going to go through and show what we did. All the toe kicks, which is basically filler board, are in from this independent cabinet all the way underneath those cabinets on the north wall. The west wall are all done, and the south wall against the pavilion are done. I put this board on the side, and now that I've glued that one board in place, I'm almost thinking about getting another filler board, and long filler board, and putting it up to cover up that seam. I don't know, I'll probably paint it first, see what it looks like. If it looks okay after I sand it and paint it, I probably won't worry about it. But if it still looks a little funky, I'll probably get another filler board and put in there. So all of the toe kicks are done. Then I have got all the bottom pieces of trim for the windows done. You can see I also filled in any of the gaps on the corners, and I've sanded those down. And we'll see how that looks once Connie gets the varnish on it. She had varnished the other three pieces, and she was just waiting for me to install those before she varnished them. I was waiting until we had all the countertops in, and I completed the electrical, because I knew there would be some cuts I would need to make there. So I finished that one. Then I completed underneath the kitchen window, main kitchen window. And you can see I filled in the gaps and I've sanded those off. May have to sand again before Connie stains. It depends on what Connie said. She's the boss of the staining. And got that section done. And then this is the last part. You can see There's not the biggest amount of room there, so that's why I wanted to wait until we got the countertop and the backsplash in before I put the trim in. Those are done. I filled in the gaps in the corners and sanded it. Again, we'll see what Connie says, but we may have to sand again before she wants to varnish. But that is a complete day for me. It's about 3:10 according to the stove, which is right. So it's 3:10. I still got about a half an hour to clean up, and then I'm headed home. But been another good day down here at the lodge. So I'm getting ready to leave. I've got everything but the kitchen lights turned off. I'll turn those off and lock the doors right before I leave and head home. So until the next time, everyone be safe, and we'll see you then.